The Honourable Member for Arbory, Castletown and Malew, Mr Moorhouse, to ask question 1.
Thank you, Mr President. I would like to ask the Minister for Justice and Home Affairs what advice has been issued by the Isle of Man Constabulary to drivers about how to cross the roundels on Douglas Promenade.
Minister to respond.
Thank you, Mr President. Following communication by the Department of Infrastructure on the 1st of September 2021 that the roundels at both Broadway and Church Road Marina should be treated as unmarked junctions, on the same day, the Isle of Man Constabulary's Road Policing Unit stated on Facebook that the roundels should be treated as unmarked junctions, advising motorists to approach them slowly, smoothly and giving way to other road users.
Mr Moorhouse, supplementary.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you, Minister, for that clarity. A key challenge is being caused by driving styles. The more cautious appear to be driving around the edge of the roundels, while others directly over the centre. This must increase the risk of an accident. What assessment has been made of the situation? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you for that additional question. An unmarked junction is described in the Highway Code as a non-priority junction. Vehicles, bikes and pedestrians have equal priority on such junctions. Thus, they operate on the basis that vehicles will slow down to negotiate the junction. In line with the Highway Code provisions, to adapt your driving to the appropriate type and condition of road you are on, to be prepared to adjust your speed as a precaution, and to look out for unmarked junctions where nobody has priority.
Mr Moorhouse, supplementary.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you, Minister. As a major commuter route into Douglas, is the Minister aware of how many vehicles pass over the unmarked junctions each day, and on how many occasions and for how long the police have officially observed the behaviours of drivers at each of the two roundels?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you for the further question. Roads policing is an operational matter for the Chief Constable, and so I am unable to comment on details of any observation work that the police may have carried out at the roundels. Having visited the Roads Policing Unit myself, along with my constituency colleague Mr Peters, I am aware, though, that the Roads Policing Unit does take note of feedback from its community and patrol teams and from members of the public when deciding on areas to visit. Thank you, Mr President.
Further supplementary, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you, Minister. Given the position of the pedestrian crossing at the bottom of Broadway, have any issues been raised about drivers' capacity and the impact on pedestrians of it being positioned on the edge of the roundels? And also, as a priority junction, have the police been given any guidance on what will happen when an accident occurs? And in terms of insurance companies, do they recognise priority junctions?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr President. I think the first question was the positioning of the pedestrian crossing. The issue of highway design is really a matter for the Department of Infrastructure, so I'm afraid I'm unable to comment on that particular issue. In terms of guidance as to, I think it's important to be clear, they are unmarked junctions, non-priority junctions, where drivers, bikes and pedestrians have equal priority. And so my understanding is that the police, in their role of enforcing road safety, would follow that provision, including in the Highway Code, that drivers should slow down and give equal priority to other road users. As regards insurance, which I think was the final part of the supplementary, obviously an insurance company, that would be a private matter, but I would imagine that an insurance company would react in the same way that it does for any individual collision, which would be to consider the circumstances of the particular case. Thank you, Mr President.